Good afternoon once again. It's really good to see everybody back. Thanks for watching so far. Yeah, we just finished the Persian playthrough, which went quite well. We ended up in a domination victory on Emperor difficulty, which, yeah, was pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that one. It's the first time I'd ever really played with Persia successfully. I mean, the last game went just terribly. The practice one I did before then. But I've been thinking about who we need to do next, and we've gone for sort of the Shazoni was a bit of a domination victory, but then that difficulty ended up being far too easy, so we left that game behind. And then India was a good diplomatic victory. So really we want to go for either scientific or cultural. And I was thinking, well, after playing with Persia last time, it was I loved the red and yellow. That was my favourite part of the whole playthrough, was the colour scheme. I know it sounds really sad, but they were really enjoyable, especially after playing with Shazoni. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for orange. Orange sounds really cool, which gives me a choice, as I'm sure you will realise, between, let's have a look and see if we can find them, Polynesia, who are good at the seas and are very good for a cultural victory. But then have other sort of little bits and pieces as well. Or, let's see if we can find them, the Dutch, who are a bit of everything but specialise in sort of money income and growth, and again sort of a bit of an all-round civ, but I think technically they're sort of diplomatic / conquest, but I like them for pretty much everything Netherlands. So it's between the Netherlands and Polynesia. So ooh, watchers, who have I picked? I know who I'm going to do. It's either going to be the Netherlands or it's going to be Polynesia. Netherlands? It's going to be Polynesia. Yeah. Now, Polynesia were the first civ I ever played, so I didn't really appreciate them at the time, but I will explain a little bit about them. But we're going to be Polynesia. Of course, we're going to have a sea map. It wouldn't be right to not have a sea map. So let's go. Archipelago. How would you pronounce that? Archipelagio. No, let's not pick that. You know what? There's another YouTube guy that sits there pronouncing words for you. You know how to pronounce things. So I need to sit there and do that. Large islands. I can pronounce that. Let's go on large islands. Yeah. We're going to stick with small again. I'm really sorry. I really want to play with more. I really want to be playing with like 10, 12 players, but my computer just won't handle it whilst it's being recorded at the same time. Fingers crossed I'll get a job and I'll be able to get myself a replacement laptop. I'm eyeing up a few and it should be good. Now, Polynesia specialise at a cultural victory, and I haven't done a cultural victory in quite a while, so I'm going to stick on Emperor if that's okay. I'm not going to go to Immortal just yet. Let's just double check. No, we're going to leave everything as it is. Standard pace again. Let's check the advanced setup just to see if anything's gone bad. No, it's all looking okay. Let's start the game. Now, my favourite thing about Polynesia is the orange. It's a really nice orange colour. But that isn't the only reason why I've picked them. They are a good civ. Their ability, wayfinding, is one of the more unusual ones, but it's actually more useful than you would immediately think. You can embark and move over oceans immediately. Now that is all units. That's land units, melee units, ranged units, mounted units, even triremes, things like that. Yeah, no, they're really good actually to have. Maori warriors are a replacement for regular warriors, and they have an extra ability that causes people to have fear when you fight them. I think it's a 10% penalty they take. Apart from that, they're sort of just generally warriors, so these guys will help me explore at the start. There's no real point making scouts at the start of the game. I'm going to be making warriors instead. But the Maori, how would you pronounce that? M-O-A-I. Moi. I'm going to call them Moi for now. These are going to win me the game. These are a replacement tile that I can put down on any coast, and it gives me one culture. That's it, just one culture. But it gives me another culture for every adjacent Moi. So let me just show you here quickly. For instance, if I were to... here we go. So if I were to, for instance, build Moi all along here, then you can see this tile here would give me one culture plus 2 3, 4, 5, 6 possible culture. So really, that's pretty good. Now with Polynesia, it is essential that you double check your starting location just to see what's sort of around you. And you can see we've got a gem start. So we'll take a look down there in a second and see what we've got. Now this is what I was talking about. You have to make sure you don't put your capital down somewhere that you will regret later. And by that I mean somewhere that makes a really good Maori spot. The Moi. I want to call them... that's Maori. So it's Moi. No, I'm going to call them Moi. Yeah. So if I were to put my city here, this is one of the best Moi spots on the island. I mean, you can see that they're all quite good around here. But I'm going to stick myself next to this river, I think. Again, that's quite a good spot, but it's next to a river. So let's do that. Honolulu. Hello, I could have put my city here, but you know, so that ships could travel through. But at this point, I'm not going to bother. Okay, now one of the things that I'm going to be going for is we've played a few Liberty starts. Now I'm going to stick with tradition this game. I'm going to go for as big a growth as possible, and to do that, let's go for some Maori warriors. Again, I'm just going to get as many scouts as I can to start with at this game. One of the buildings the wonders that I'm going to be looking at building this game, religion, it's not going to really do much for me, so I'm not going to focus on Stonehenge. The Great Library, I mean, you can see from my start, I've not got the best. I mean, I've got a few hills, but it's not the best, and I'm not getting Liberty as well, so it's going to be tricky to rush the Great Library too early. So I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to attempt to go for the Temple of Artemis, if possible, but realistically I'm probably not going to win that one, but I am going to try and go for the Hanging Gardens. That's going to be great for me. And then possibly some of the cultural wonders. We're going to go for cultural victory, so the more culture we can get from wonders, the better. But the best way we're going to do that is to just build the biggest cities possible. So I'm going to start with pottery, get myself a granary. We don't need to build sailing just yet. Because we'll be able to have warriors that are scouting around. We get +1 vision when we're embarked, which is pretty handy. So after we've gone pottery, we're going to go straight for archery, so we can... oh, press the wrong button, hang on. So pottery, then archery. So that we can unlock the Temple of Artemis. Then we're going to go for writing, so we can put down a library pretty quickly. And then mining to get the gems, I think, in that order there. And after that, we are then going to focus on going for mathematics. So there is our early game tech sort of pattern. Let's see if we end up sticking to it. I'm going to move my city immediately to go to food focus. We want to get as big cities as possible. You can see here we've started next to a wheat field, which is really handy when we build the granary up. That'll give us a bit of extra food, which is wonderful. We're neglecting the early game monument at the moment. We're going to be getting tradition, so we're going to get that +3 culture from there, so we can live without that for a little bit if we have to. Now, the first thing to do is to embark. And that's the easiest way that we're going to explore around. Now, the early game strategy for Polynesia is simple. Explore, explore, explore. I want to find the entire map. I want to find every sev, every city-state, every ancient ruin, just everything before anyone else does. And the extra faith, the extra gold that I would obtain from doing that will be brilliant. We're going to go for a cultural victory, but culture doesn't really take that much money. And our mois, when we start to build them, will produce a lot of gold later in the game. So diplomatic is going to be our secondary win. Bucharest, we found immediately. Wonderful. We'll go from that. So I'm going to manually control our explorers for now. We'll see if it gets too boring before I stop. But so you can see I can immediately go into ocean tiles. It's a very, very good starting ability. I do enjoy it. It's quite handy. Right, so to starters, I'm going to explore around my own island. There's no point not. I've got a ruins there. Beautiful. It seems to be Gem Island with a bit of ivory around. Apart from that, gems are not a bad first thing to have. Ruins have been discovered there. Oh, extra culture, so we can go immediately and get tradition. So not a bad start. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. I haven't gone for a tradition start in a long time. It's gonna be good to have some decently sized cities. I'm not gonna lie. The way we're gonna play it is that we have the benefit of being able to explore a lot of the islands around us very quickly, which will give us an advantage over a lot of servers in terms of getting the best places to settle. We are going to be focusing on getting a huge capital, and then the other cities after that, maybe we'll go for sort of 2 or 3 bigger ones, maybe even just 1 or 2, and then we'll just be picking the rest just based on Moi location, really. We've got some spearmen. Now, the spearmen do retain the Hacker War Dance, which is the 10% combat strength thing that I was talking to you about earlier. So that's good. We don't lose that. We've got our first extra warriors going in that direction now. We will very quickly build a second stack. Or a third stack, as it were. But we're going to switch to getting the granary now. There you go, 10 turns it's going to take, but that's fine. Actually, look, we're hardly growing, so let's just flick that to production focus for now. Purely just so that our granary overlaps with the Temple of Artemis a little bit. Okay, cool. We'll just continue to explore down there. Come off the edge of that island. So there's cotton on this island as well. Wow, lots of stacks of gems though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 4 away, so a lot of these are going to be... They're all out of reach, unfortunately. I can't work any of them, but that's fine. That's fine. I would have only been able to work 1 more if I'd stuck... Actually, not even then. No, it would have been too far away anyway. Now, the trick for Polynesia is not putting our cities too close to each other. We don't want to sort of surround ourselves too quickly. And the reason for that is, although a city can only work the next 3 tiles around it, so you can see I can draw a sort of rough hexagon around the sort of 3 tiles here, I can still build mois further away. And those mois will improve the mois in my territory. So I don't want to be crowding too much. Some more ruins. Polynesia really is the early game ruin master. We will find them faster than anyone else will. The trick as well is that we don't want to upgrade our warriors too early. We want to keep them nice and cheap. We found sailing. Oh, here we go. We can build a tribe actually, or 2, which wouldn't be too bad. Okay, let's just continue exploring. We like getting a few free techs at the start of the game, and we found the Iroquois very quickly. Hello. Well, they can see me anyway. I don't think I can see them yet. Here we go. Let's just embark again. Yeah, there they are. They're on a hill, so they could see me. Fair enough. Okay, so they're not too bad neighbours. They're not overly aggressive, but they do like to expand a lot, so it's a good thing that we have the early expansion bonuses, really. Tundra down here. So again, we're at the south of the map. We've had a few games now. Well, I've had a few games now in a row where I've been on the south of the map, so no change there, really.